Hello, hello, my waxy weirdos. Welcome back to the White Bat Wax YouTube channel. Packaging upgrades and product changes. That is what is on the menu for today. So let's get into it. First things first. A big, fat, sloppy, juicy one of those goes out to all of you who have hopped on over to the shop and purchased my apothecary collection. I have candles and wax melts available, and the feedback has been wonderful. So thank you all so much to those of you, once again, who headed on over and gave my apothecary collection a chance. Because the feedback has been so good, I will absolutely be expanding into earthier, more resinous scents in the future. I was secretly hoping that this is going to work out because although I love sweet fragrances, I'm a vanilla girl. I am such the vanilla girl. I love anything vanilla. I know, what a basic bitch, right? But I love anything that is not necessarily a cupcake or ice cream vanilla. I like thick, more grown up, more burnt vanilla type situations. You know, vanilla sandalwood, vanilla and, okay, let's just not get into it. She loves vanilla. Okay, period. Vanilla incense. Oh God. Okay. Anyway, I love thick, rich vanilla. But on the flip, I also am a huge fan of scents that are true earthy herbal scents that have not a single touch, not one iota of vanilla in them. Think tree resins, think oud wood, think sandalwood, what else? Any of the guaiac wood, agar wood, any of those ancient woods, frankincense, myrrh, palo santo, any of those things, love, 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 love rich resinous. So it's either got to have some vanilla, some earthiness, or a mix of the two to make me happy, right? So anyway, long story longer, thank you for showing the apothecary collection some love. I have restocked everything that was running low and or sold out, so yay for that. If you have been wanting to pick something up, head over to the shop. Everything is in stock. Air Candy, my air freshener line, has also been getting a teeny tiny little bit of love. The fresheners certainly are not selling as strongly as I thought they would, considering how popular that this particular product category is. I'm going to say the word that bothers me, the F word, freshies. Freshies are incredibly popular with the general population, but for some reason, either people are not finding mine or my customers are just not interested, which is totally fine. I will keep them around for a good while before I decide whether or not to discontinue that particular product line. It is much too early to make a decision on just completely flat out nixing them and getting rid of them. Because I use them and I enjoy them, I will keep them around just a little bit longer. But if this is something, again, that does not resonate with my audience, will I be bummed to see them go? Kind of, sort of, because they're a fun little project, you know, really fun for gifty gift, and they serve their purpose. I personally love using them in my closets, but it is what it is. I am primarily a candle and wax melt brand, so who knows? Maybe I will forever keep the Air Candy around, but just in a super limited quantity. Anyhow, now we come to the fun part of this video. There's going to be a not so fun part of the video, which ends up being not so fun, but still fun, which we will address later. But for now, the fun part, the packaging upgrade. Yes, my failure to emote. Do not be deceived by my absolute failure to emote. That does not adequately reflect my elation. Trust me, the way that I sound is no reflection of how I truly feel inside, because I promise you, I am thrilled about the packaging upgrade. It will likely come as no surprise to you, considering the way that I speak, that yes, I also have resting bitch face. Yeah, so surprise, right? I can be in the best mood, and yet I always look irate. I can't help it. This is just my face. This is just my voice, okay? Anyway, custom white bat wax packaging tape is a thing now. Oh my God. As a graphic designer, I am naturally a sucker for packaging. Designing white bat wax from the ground up means that I get to explore branding all day long. To my sparkly little black heart's content, I can play with this, I can play with that, and I can design this, and I can design that, and it will all be within the white bat wax ecosystem. The whole ethos of this brand, right? It's a little, how can I describe this brand? It is, I will say it's a little dark leaning. I hesitate to say gothic, altogether gothic, but it is a little bit on the darker side. See, I'm having problems just describing my own brand. It's an elevated goth aesthetic that still retains a fun side, okay? We'll leave it at there. We'll leave it at there. We will leave it at that because we're not veering too far into ultra playful, whimsical, cutesy boopsy, though there is a touch of whimsy in this brand. It's a lighthearted, elevated, indie brand with a little pinch of darkness sprinkled on top. How's that? That'll do it. I get to explore all aspects of my personality with this brand, and I love it. Each time, though, that I packed an order using the standard clear packaging tape, just a little sliver of my soul left my body. It just ejected and said, nope, I'm out of here, bitch. What is this hideousness? I cannot partake in these lack of aesthetics. Okay? Nothing mars the aesthetics of a sleek black box quite like glossy, generic packing tape. Am I right? Enter the branded tape. Doesn't it look fabulous? There may come a day when I need to switch up all of my boxes to white. Black boxes are more expensive, y'all, and they are expensive by quite a bit more. So if that's the case, one day in the future, they will still definitely look fabulous as a white box with the black tape. Now, just a little disclaimer, I do currently also ship in white boxes. They are just not my primary. I have a mix of black and white. It just depends on the products that are ordered and what can fit in what box. But in any case, if I ever have to switch to a completely all white packaging for all of my products, it's fine. The black tape just makes it look that much better, and I'm okay with it. I just love it. I love the contrast of the black and the white, and I love the look of the black on black. It is just so wonderful. Not only does it elevate the packaging, but it is functional as well, which is always a plus. White bat wax as a brand is still very much a hobby / microscopic, we'll say, because it's a teeny tiny side hustle. I am selling product here and there, but it's not a steady stream of income. Everything that I am earning from the brand thus far is getting directly, most of it anyway, is getting redirected back into funding this brand. Growth takes time, and in the interim, I am taking this opportunity to slowly and steadily work on the branding and building all of that out. Packaging is not an afterthought. It has never been an afterthought for any venture that I embark on that involves commerce, e-commerce, selling things, anything like that. My packaging is always one of the first things that I design before I even open the shop. I love when an unboxing experience is, well, an experience. I have purchased from indie boutiques before, and I've purchased from higher end stores, and I'm going to single out some fragrance companies because I find that the indie perfumers and the indie fragrance companies always have much better packaging than the higher end fragrance brands. And I'm like, what the hell? This is capitalism for you, right? It's money, 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 and we can skimp on anything. When packaging is such a big deal, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy to think so, but I would venture to guess, I would wager every last cent that I'm worth, if I'm worth anything at all, that if somebody showed you two different packages with the same product inside, but one of them had a hideous package, blank, just totally beige, and the other one was a really well-designed package, you would opt for the one with the better package, okay? If they both cost, let's say something cost 99 cents. If there was a luxury $10,000 perfume in both of the boxes and one of them was $1 and one of them was free, the one that was $1 had a prettier box, you would pay the $1, would you not? Okay, anyway, I digress. Packaging is important, people. I use one of the most premium waxes on the market, and I also use premium fragrances. I don't go to the craft store and purchase fragrances off the shelf. No, I have very specialized fragrance suppliers that I frequently use, and I want my packaging and the whole white bat wax experience to reflect the love and the quality that I put into my products. Everything is completely handmade, totally small batch by yours truly, and I put a lot of thought into what I do. I'm not just slinging wax and grabbing some fragrance and just putting it together and going, here you go, give me your money. No. Anyway, continuing on with the packaging. My candle care cards, are they not all so cute? There was absolutely no way in any circle of hell that I was going to include a generic care card for my candles. Every bit of communication, every little piece of marketing material, anything, down to the slips that I include with my warm weather purchases, I always put a little bit of a little note inside when people purchase candles to say, hey, if you're purchasing in warm weather, this is what you can expect, blah, blah, blah. Your candle's okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Anyhow, everything has a signature white bat wax touch. And now, after all of that praise, now comes the not so fun, but still kind of fun part of the video. So I won't hesitate. You'll see why it's not fun, but also kind of sort of fun as I explain. Where I had been extolling the virtues of developing an immersive, cohesive brand, inevitably though, above everything, I am at the mercy of the fickle ass manufacturing gods. And of course my own whims, but the manufacturing gods have a huge play in this. Branded packaging tape? Fabulous. Custom care cards? Fabulous. Finding a perfect black and white striped tissue paper? Oh, fabulous. Discontinued vessels? That was my head exploding. Okay? Excuse me, pardon me. Let me through. I need to implode. Not only does my head explode, but I also need to implode because that is what it feels like to find out that my vessels are discontinued. Not one, but multiple vessels. So, implosion and explosion incoming, so BRB. Okay. That was sufficient time for both. So anyway, yes, weirdos. Some of my core vessels are gone for good. Poof, poof, just like that. There is, however, one jar that I will be able to find a suitable replacement for, not 100% identical, but about 98.8% identical, which is great. However, my tins and a candle vessel that I had been hoping would become my signature vessel are gone. Ugh! So frustrating. Anyway, the tins that I have now, those are going to go bye-bye. And as for the signature vessel that I had been hoping to start using, God, this is a huge blow because I had searched high and low for a vessel that had a chic, high gloss black look. And it couldn't be glass because some of the glass, there are a ton of glossy black vessels out there, but it's not the glossy black that I was looking for. I wanted something that was a concrete or a ceramic, and I found the frickin' ceramic, only to find out after I purchased several boxes that they were discontinued. Womp, womp. These gorgeous vessels will not be going to waste, though. I will be using them as special edition releases until I run out of them, and I have not even started releasing any special editions yet, but I will be hanging on to these vessels, and I will be proceeding with a standard clear glass vessel moving forward as my core candle line. I know that sounds very generic, just to go with the clear glass vessel that everyone else uses, but unfortunately this is just the name of the game. You can't really depend on a custom, very unique vessel because they just won't sell. They're more expensive than the clear glass, and so manufacturers and companies, suppliers don't want to carry something that's not a top seller because their customers are not purchasing, right? So yeah, that's what we're going to do. but that's okay. All of that being said, this girl is nothing if not tenacious. So I've been taking a good hard look at my brand, and I think I would like to experiment with a few changes. See, this is the fun, this is the light at the end of the yuck tunnel. The not so fun part, the finding out that my stuff is discontinued. Well, see, this is the fun that comes from that. We're squeezing those lemons, baby. We're making that lemonade. What do I want to change? Not the designs, nothing like that. I'm quite happy with the way the branding looks now, but you all, I think I want to make all of my labels black. Gasp! Shock! The pearl clutching horror. I know. The color was something that made me so happy with this brand at first. But something in me was stirred when I saw on my inventory shelves the packaging for the Apothecary collection. And then when I made my air candy, when that packaging went up on the shelves, and just seeing all of that black and white goodness all next to each other, oh, it just looks so good. While the designs, like I mentioned, will remain the same, I think I want to go with black labels for, at the very least, my wax melts. I like the idea of having very colorful wax melts contrasting against a black and white label. It just works. I just love the contrast. For those of you who do not know, I am an illustrator, and part of my illustration work is the way that I color. A lot of my work is very high contrast, very defined, bold black line work, and then very punchy, bright color. And I feel like this would be a perfect extension of my personal aesthetics, having those wonderful, beautiful wax melts in different colors with the sparkle, and then that chic black and white label. Now, the key part of this, though, is that the Apothecary collection, my earthy resinous scents, those will remain the natural color of the wax in the oil. That's part of the ethos of that line, is that I don't want to introduce synthetic colors to something that is more earthy and herbal. So those will remain no color. They may have some sparkle, some shimmer here and there, but absolutely no color. But for the rest of the line, everything that is not part of the earthy resinous Apothecary side of white bat wax, that will still have the funky colors and all the bright glitters and all that good stuff. It's just the labels that might be changing. As far as the candles are concerned, I am undecided. I believe that I may keep colored labels for candles simply because it will help to distinguish between the different scents when they are on the shelves, because of course I am using a white wax, and I would like to just, I want to avoid any confusion, especially for people who are candle collectors and they have all the white bat wax on their shelves. I would like the labels to stand out. I don't want everything to be simply black and white. So I think at the very least for the wax melts, we will be changing the labels for that. The prevailing aesthetic for indie candle brands for the past few years has definitely been a hyper minimalistic black and white look. I was afraid of that for a while because I didn't want to be pigeonholed into that aesthetic, but I think given the playfulness of my brand, I think it avoids any of that stark clinical minimalism that is very prevalent in candle branding right now, which I like it. I have no problem with the minimalist aesthetic. In fact, I quite like some of it. But for my personal brand for White Bat Wax, that does not align with what I'm going for. So I just want to be sure that I'm distinguishing myself well enough away from that, simply because I'm going with such a classic color palette. I mean, black and white, it does not get any more classic than black and white. So again, we shall see. I am in the early stages of experimenting with that. This means that I will likely be discontinuing some more scents and maybe even discontinuing the packaging or at least getting rid of the inventory that I have left. So keep an eye out for sales. Follow me on social media so that you know if and when I'm going to be holding any sales on wax melts and such. So yes, having to deal with discontinued vessels has opened up an opportunity for me to play around a bit, and that's not a bad thing. I'm going to enjoy the next few weeks, couple of months, what have you, just messing around with these ideas and changing things around a little bit. Okay, smellies, off I go. Thank you for hanging out and chatting candles and wax melts with me. Leave your thoughts down below. Or if you're shy, if you don't want to talk, go ahead and leave me. Let's see, leave me a bat and or a candle emoji. Although sparkle never hurt either, you know, we love a sparkle. But bats and candles, leave those down below for me. And please follow me on my poor neglected Instagram. I don't use it frequently, not because I don't want to, but simply because I don't feel that I am in a position right now where I need to work White Bat Wax's Instagram into my daily life. I do update it every now and then, and certainly when there is a sale, I will post an announcement. So please follow me over there, check out what I've got going over there, and that's going to do it for this video. So I will see you next time, my waxy weirdos. Thank you for watching. Oh, and go buy some candles and wax melts. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.